seem real excited
Yeah,
and all
we're
that.
live though.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to let me make it public really quick here.
Oh,
Yes,
all right.
it's working. I can see your photo. Ah. Look, what is that? Give us a sec, guys. We just doing some finishing touches here. Here, we had to get a little creative here, but it works. It works. All right. Let me turn on my camera. All right, I am back, you guys, and I have Rude Life joining me. He is the host of Rude Life podcast on YouTube. Y'all should check him out. All right, what's going on, Rude Life? How's it going this evening?
What's going on with you? Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Glad to have you. So tonight we are going to be discussing. He is going to share his story with us about being in a wheelchair. We're going to get into his podcast and what it's about, some of the things he's got going on over there. All right. So without further ado, like let's get into tell us about your podcast, what it's about. Um, how you came about wanting to be a podcaster and everything.
All right, so bet. So the podcast is called Keep It in 100 and True Podcast. My name is RudeLife Nasa, but I started podcasting when COVID hit, like early 2000, like late 2020, when we couldn't go anywhere and we had to be stuck in the house. I was like, bro, I have nothing to do. Cause at one point before I was podcasting, I was working at a restaurant for 15 years. It's a restaurant based around people with disabilities. You know what I'm saying? It was called it was called Positive Vibe Cafe. I was
Okay.
a host. So I learned how to, be good with the customers and customer service. I'm pretty good with that. I worked there for 15 years, and you know what I mean? And they let me be the host, and I was able to talk to the training program about, even though you have a disability, even though you may have things going on with you, you can still live a regular life. You can still get a job. So when COVID hit, I had to be by myself because we couldn't really move like that. We couldn't go to many places. So I was like, man, what am I gonna do? Because I got bored. And when you work a lot for years upon years, and then suddenly you just stop because you can't do anything because people tell you have to stay in the house. You had to figure out something to do. So I was
Mhm.
looking on TV. I was looking on TV, and they showed the Anchor app where you can make your own podcast. I was like, well, I like to talk. Let me see if I can make that happen. So that's how I started. That's how I started the podcast.
Okay.
And
And so, tell the viewers some of the, what your podcast is about. Some of the topics you do.
all right, so my podcast, I'm not gonna lie, my podcast is like talking about relationships and positivity and motivation because when I was growing up, when I was a teenager until I was like 20, let's say 24, 25, I used to like, I used to mess with a lot of girls. I used to be in a lot of relationships. So I was like a Rolling Stone. It's funny because I'm in a wheelchair and I'm a Rolling Stone. That's funny. But I was like, you know what I'm saying? I used to be a Rolling Stone, and I was like, man, I didn't want to talk about anything crazy. Like I didn't want to talk about any street stuff. I didn't want to talk about stuff that I really didn't partake in. So I felt like relationships was the best thing for me to do. So I talk about how I feel about relationships from my perspective, and I talk about the stories and things that I've been through personally.
Okay. All right. And what are some of those things, if you don't mind me asking?
All right, so the funny thing is, well, I'm in a relationship now. So the funny thing is, my girl that I'm with, she's never been with somebody in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? Like a lot of females have issues with talking to people, talking to someone that's in a wheelchair or that has a disability, and I don't think it's like anything they personally try to. hold against you, but I think it's when you're not used to being with somebody or being around somebody that has a disability or that may be different than you, you're gonna shy away from the situation. So she wasn't used to being with somebody in a wheelchair, and plus, just because I'm in a wheelchair, I was kind of wild because I was messing with this person, doing stuff with that person. I was always hanging out with my friends. I was wild. I'm way more mature now. So when I first met my girl or whatever, we used to argue a lot because I'm aggressive and she's real laid back. So she told me one day, she was like, I can't hear you when you're yelling at me because you could talk to somebody and they still can't hear you because how you present the situation. So she was like, I can't hear you when you're yelling at me. So so why don't you say how you feel on the podcast, and then I'ma hear you. I can hear you there because I can play it back. I can play it back to back until I understand what you're trying to say. I was like, I bet. So a lot of the stuff that I talk about is things that I really went through in my relationship at the time because it was really rocky. It was like, we were butting heads because we're totally opposite. She's real laid back. I'm kind of aggressive. I stand on things. I'm like I don't go for a lot of stuff. So she's real chill. She's real friendly. So we've had our ups and downs, but we're better now.
Okay. All right. So there's a question for you. Miss Belinda wants to know how old you are.
I'm 36.
Okay. All right. So have you always been in a wheelchair, or did something happen that caused you to have to be in a wheelchair?
I'm in a wheelchair because I have cerebral palsy. All right.
Okay.
So a lot of things that I get is why are you in a wheelchair? The first thing people think is, did you get shot? No, thank God. The other thing they get is, all right, like, have you been in a car accident? Nah, I haven't been in a car accident. I have cerebral palsy. So with cerebral palsy, for those who don't know, it's many different degrees of it, but it's like your muscles are too weak for you to walk on your own. Sometimes you have a degree of cerebral palsy where the person can't speak. The person can't get out of the wheelchair. The person might be bound to a wheelchair. Then you have a degree of cerebral palsy where you really can't tell. If a person who has cerebral palsy can tell if another person has cerebral palsy, because our right side is weaker than our left side. Like my right side is way weaker than my left side, but I'm working to get stronger. So I've had cerebral palsy since I was a baby. Since I found out if I could walk or not, that's when I realized I had cerebral palsy. So you
All
know,
right. And so growing up, how was that for you? Growing up, being in a wheelchair, how was that for you?
um, I'm gonna just say being in a wheelchair is way more accepted, way more accepted now because people look at things a lot different. But growing up, being in a wheelchair, it was okay. It wasn't. I'm not gonna say it was the hardest thing, but I felt like I always had to prove myself to people because people used to always say, "You're in a wheelchair. What can you do?" Or "You can't do anything because you're in a wheelchair." Or people I used to get when I was in middle school to high school. Middle school, I used to get picked on because with my cerebral palsy, I have what you call a startle reflex. The startle reflex is where like you jump real easily. Like I don't like loud noises, like guns, fireworks, any loud unexpected noise. I'm gonna jump. You know what I'm saying? Like if me and you were talking, all of a sudden you yell real loud. I'm gonna jump because that's the startle reflex of cerebral palsy. So I kind of used to get picked on a lot. You know what I'm saying? But so when I used to get picked on, I used to get kind of frustrated. I used to get angry because it happened a lot. You know what I mean? But I had to learn to be stronger, understand. People are gonna talk about you. People are gonna say things about you or do things that you're not gonna agree with. But you still gotta learn to be strong. I come from a strong family, so they taught me no matter if you're in a wheelchair or not, if people really rock with you or really call you their friend, they're gonna accept you for who you are.
Exactly. And so, Miss Belinda says this: it's not the handicap of being in a relationship. It comes from the heart.
I get what you're saying, and you're completely right. It's not a relationship is supposed to. It's not the handicap. It's supposed to come from the heart, but it's a lot of shallow people out here. And it's I always say you ever wanna test a real woman, or you ever wanna test a real person, let them say that you're in a wheelchair and see how they change. Because everybody says, and no disrespect to you, a lot of people say it's cool if we don't have a problem with you being in a wheelchair until you're in a relationship. Now I'm not gonna lie. I can be a lot to deal with because I got a smart mouth. I'm stubborn. I stand on things. So and then it's just like, well, a lot of females of this generation. That's why I hate this generation when it comes to relationships, right? Because a lot of females of this generation, they're so, what can you do for me? You know what I'm saying? Like okay, you're in a wheelchair, but what can you do for me? Because a lot of females, they want to be around the type of person that can like take them places, or hold their hands, or looks good when they go out in public. And these are things that people tell me. Like, I'm not just saying, I'm not making this up. These are things people tell me. So a lot when people found out I was in a wheelchair, I'm like, yo, it's a lot of shallow people out here, bro.
But so you can hold a person's hand in a wheelchair. I know people in wheelchairs who drive. Um, so the things you named, I'm not understanding why they think you couldn't do that.
Um, like, all right, so it's like, all right, so we gonna say it like this. So obviously, you're one of the type of people. You're one of the type of women who don't let the wheelchair, stop you from talking to somebody, and I respect that. But it's a lot of females who, because they don't know the situation, because they really don't know what's going on, they just see the wheelchair and say, I can't do anything with that. Instead of trying to learn the person, instead of trying to understand where he, what's going on, or why he moves like this, or why he acts like that. It's like they just like, oh, I'm worried about what my friends say, or some people are worried about what their family said, because in their mind it's like they got a different image of what's really going on. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. So, if you don't mind me asking, does it like have an impact on like your sexual life, or like have you had situations in the
Nah,
past
nah, nah,
like
nah.
that,
That's one reason why I was.
or
I.
females
So I'm
feel
gonna
like
tell you.
it would
I'm gonna tell you a
keep
funny
going.
story, right? I'm gonna tell you a funny story.
Okay.
So one reason why I was a hoe back in the day was, right, because like I told you, a lot of girls didn't want to talk to me. So when I found that girl who did want to talk to me, who looked past the wheelchair and just saw me as a personality, yeah, I would talk to them. You know what I'm saying? I would treat them so good. I would treat them special. I would be romantic. My thing was, I used to do poems. I used to write poetry to the girl that I cared about, and I used to send it to them, and they used to get all excited. Oh, you're so sweet, stupid stuff like that, right? So, like, the girl used to go to her friends and tell her friends, "Yeah, he's so sweet. He did this for me. He did that for me," and like her friends used to be like, "Really?" Like they can't believe it because it's like they didn't think I could do anything in a wheelchair. So my little hoe ass, like I used to like talk to the, I used to, I used to talk to the friend on the sneak, trying to, what I'm saying. I was trying to get in while I fit in because not too many girls wanted to talk to me back in the day. So I used to talk to the girl on the sneak and her friend on the sneak, and I got caught. Mm. It was all bad, but that's some stuff I used to do, and I'm being dead serious. I'm being dead
But what
serious.
about females? Do you ever get from females that it would be like an issue as far as sex with them on Kind
Um,
of like how you said they felt like they can't hold hands and you can't take them places and stuff like
do I
that.
ever feel like it's a do I ever feel like it's an issue sexual wise with the female? Um,
Yeah.
um, yeah, cause like I can only do certain things, but the certain things I do well. So, but a lot of girls have issues with that. Like a lot of I ain't gonna front. Like a lot of females have issues. Like I don't know how real you want to get on this show, but forget it. I'm here now. So so a lot of girls have issues with like getting on top of whatever. Like a lot of girls do. So a lot of girls be like, I don't like getting on top of this other third. Well, that's what I could do right now. I don't know what to tell you. So a lot of girls have that problem sexually, but other than that, like I have a high sex drive. You know what I'm saying? So it's never been me. Like I ain't gonna lie, it's never been me. It's probably been the girls or whatever.
Okay. All right. And so, outside of the podcast, what are some other things you are you into?
Okay, so I'm a big music person. You know what I mean? I love listening to music. Like when I'm taking a shower or whatever, I think I'm like the best singer or the best rapper until the shower stops and I'm like, yo, my
Drum
voice is
job.
trash. You know what I'm saying? But my voice is trash. But I'm a big music person. I love to sleep. If any chance I get to sleep, I'm gonna take it. You feel me? Cause I stay up all night. You know what I mean? I go to bed till like 4 or 5 in the morning. I don't know why. I think since COVID and I've been by myself just chilling, like I developed the habit of just staying up late. And I love playing video games. I'm a big video game person. Big video game person. I love I love interacting with people online. I like arguing with people online. I like all the smoke. I love video games. Until I die, I'm gonna be a video game person. I'm trying to get a PlayStation 5 low key, but I can't get one right now. It's throwing me off because all my friends got one. It's starting to make me mad. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. So, you said you used to write poems. Can you
Yeah.
recite one?
Hell nah. But look, this is the thing. This is the thing. This is the thing. I used to be I used to be a rapper too. Like if you go on my YouTube page, RudeLife Nasa, shameless plug. If you go on my YouTube page, um, I got a few songs or whatever. But like I used to rap with the friends. I used to hang with a lot of my friends, and we used to rap. We used to go to the studio just rapping, and I used to freestyle a lot. But like it wasn't my passion, bro. It wasn't my passion. I was good at it, and people kept trying to push me to do it, but it just wasn't my passion. Um, so I figured out my passion is I like talking to people. I like talking to people more than I like rapping. Like if I gotta talk to somebody on stage, I can do that. But if I gotta rap on stage, no, I'm tripping. Like I got, I'm having butterflies, all that bush. I'm tripping. I don't like the rap. I like the rap in the studio, but I don't like the rap in front of a crowd. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you rather just record and put it out there rather than perform.
Right. I'd rather pull an NBA young boy because NBA young boy he don't really be in concerts, but he got a lot of music. That's a fact.
Okay. So, let's get in some of the stuff we were talking about the other day about relationships and why um, it's kind of difficult or it's a challenge to kind of meet certain goals in relationships. What are your thoughts and opinions on that?
Why it's so hard for people to meet certain goals in relationships? I think it's got a lot to do with fear. Because look, a lot of females, and this is just from my perspective, like a lot of females, before they get with a good man, like I consider myself a good man, right? Before they get with a good man, they're in relationships where they've been abused, they've been hurt, they've been lied to, they've been manipulated, right? So when they get out of that relationship, they're single for like maybe a couple years. So when you're single for that long after getting out of a bad relationship, you become stuck in your ways, you become stubborn, And when you meet a new dude, a good dude, somebody that's gonna cherish you, love you for who you are, respects you for who you are, you you have this fear because now it's like, oh, it's somebody who's really cherishing me and loving me for me and being honest with me, being 100 with me, and I don't know how to take this. So when you have fear in your heart and when you have fear in a relationship from your past, you're automatically gonna back up. You're gonna back up because you don't mean to, but you're gonna back up because you don't know how to accept a new love because you're used to being abused and hurt. And that's the
So,
main problem with relationships.
so you would basically say, kind of like bringing baggage from the past, like traumas, whether it's a relationship or
Right,
childhood,
right,
and but do you
exactly.
think communication, trust, and all plays a part in it as well, or
Do I
even
think what?
financial, like
Um,
trust?
trust, yeah. Financial, not. I mean, if the girl brings money to the table or she's used to a certain type of situation, yeah, financial maybe. But when you talk to somebody, you're not supposed to count their pockets in the first place. I'm never supposed to count. I don't count anybody's pockets. When you love somebody, you're supposed to love them when they're down, when they're about to come up, when they're struggling. So, like, if you want to be with somebody because of the type of money they have, or because you want because he brings this to the table as far as financial, that's the wrong way to go. Like I think people base relationships off of what what this person can do for me and not "Hey, I want to be with this person because I actually love this person. Me personally.
So back to when you said, so I get when you say you don't count people's pockets. I get that, and if you love a person, you're supposed to accept them when they're down, which is true. But now there's a difference in being down and struggling and just not wanting to do nothing.
Right, right. Being complacent, yeah. Right. Now there is a there that is a such thing, yeah. I feel you on that because some people just don't want to do anything. Some people just are complacent. It's a lot of people that's like that. Well, she kind of
So
came for me.
I don't know if this is a question or a statement. Um, but they said, so you like doing a lot of childish things because you're afraid.
What did
Um,
I do that was childish?
I don't know. See, I don't know if it was a statement or, uh, um, you know. And then this
When
person
I was
says
younger,
love is
yeah.
unconditional.
Yeah, love is unconditional. Now, when she said, so you like doing a lot of childish things because you're afraid. Um, when I was younger, see, because I'm 36 now. So when I was younger, I was doing a lot of things because I wasn't as mature, what I'm saying, as I am now. Like I used to do a lot of stupid stuff. I admit, I used to do things I'm like, dang, looking back at it, I wouldn't do it anymore. Like, when you do something like when you hurt people that really care for you, but you so caught up in doing what you're doing that you don't think about it. And now that you're older, you be like, looking back at it, you know what? I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
back in the day, I was doing a lot of childish things. I'll be the first to admit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to go through a phase, and then everybody has to grow up. Sometimes it takes people longer to grow up, see, because you can be older than a person. A person can be older than you, and still hasn't grown up. You know what I mean?
hmm, that's true.
So
That's true. So, what do you feel about compatibility, though? Do you think compatibility is a important thing in a relationship?
um yeah, but I also think that people come in your life for a reason. You just may not know what it is. Certain people come in your life because it may be something about you that you need to change. You know what I mean? So that person might help you change and you don't even know it. But compatibility is very important, man. Like anybody, you don't want to be with somebody that just plays games and you are serious. You want somebody that's gonna be on the same level as you. You know what I mean? Like you. That's why when you start talking to a person, like I let people know out the gate what it is. Like I'm not about to sugarcoat nothing with you. I'm not about to play with you. Yo, I let people know out the gate. And also, even though you let people know out the gate what it is, you also have to grow with that person and have time with that person. A lot of people get so frustrated so quick when certain things don't go their way because they're so used to being hurt in the past that this person might be compatible with you, but you're so trigger happy, ready to leave the relationship that you just mess up your own blessing. Because everybody comes in your life
That
for a reason.
is true.
Everybody. You know what I mean?
Facts.
All right, so let me ask you this
All right.
question, right?
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. How do you feel? Cause I talk about this on my podcast a lot, and I get a lot of slack, and I understand why I get slack. How do you feel if you're in a relationship, right? Do you do you feel like do you feel like your man should have female friends, and you should be able to have guy friends?
Um. Yeah,
Take away your
because I
profession.
mean, yeah, but I think, yeah, I think it's okay for a female to in a relationship to have guy friends, and I think it's okay for a male to have female friends in a relationship. But I do think that there needs to be boundaries.
All right. Now you know what's funny about this is like I think the females say it's okay, right? But a lot of the guys are like, nah, we cool off that because from a guy's perspective, it's not saying that we don't trust you, right? Like we trust the woman that we with for the most part. But it's like a lot of times females don't know what guys' real intentions are until it's like right there in front of your face. But a lot of dudes can pick it up like, nah, this dude trying to talk to you. You know, this dude trying to holler at you, and you'll be like, no, he's not. He's not trying to holler. You know what I'm saying? He's just being a good friend. But we are like, nah, we can see it, and I think that's a lot of times what the
Um,
guy is. Huh? Go ahead.
that's true, but it goes both too.
You said it go
Sometimes
both ways.
guys this and you could be trying to tell them and then they can say like, oh, you just tripping. I think you thinking, too hard, or and like you say, guys know men, females know. Like I would know when a female is attracted to the person I'm with or is flirting or wants to be. I would know that because I'm a female, so I know what we as females do to want to get a man's attention. So it
Right.
goes both ways.
Yeah, cause a guy's gonna know what a dude's trying to do. Cause I'm not gonna front. Like like I told you, I used to be a hoe, and I'm not proud of that anymore. I'm not proud of being a hoe anymore. Like that's beyond me. You feel me? But like you got some dudes that'll play like they're your brother, but they still try to talk to you and try to holler at you, low key. You know what I'm saying? And then so yeah, like that's. I just wanted your opinion because because I've seen like a lot of females feel like we can have friends because it's on the female to take it where she gonna take it to, and then you see the dudes is like, nah, I'm cool, like nah, we not having none of that.
But so I feel like if there's boundaries set, you know what I'm saying? Like for instance, like if I'm in a relationship and I have a male friend, I'm gonna keep a level of respect for my relationship with that person. Like I'm not gonna sit on the phone with you late at night. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? I have a whole man. I'm not about to he in the room and I'm in here on the phone with you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just certain things that yes should be a level of respect or boundary set.
I think what it is with a man is like, cause he's new. Well, females nowadays. I'm not talking about females who know how to cherish their man and know how to hold down their relationship, but a lot of females will sit here and talk to a dude and still entertain somebody else, still mess with somebody else. So the guy already has like ill intentions about the situation because it's like it's hard to trust nowadays. Let's start there. It's really hard to trust because a
Mhm.
female can sit back and say she love you, but she could also sit back and tell somebody else that. You know what I mean? It's like that both ways because dudes ain't well about their stuff either. I ain't gonna lie, but it's just a lot of the problems with relationship is I can't. It's hard to trust. So if I know you playing games, I might as well just stay single and do my thing. You know what I mean?
Right. So let me ask you this, because okay, you asked that question and you kind of said in a sort of way it's a little different for guys. So would you feel that since you feel that way, that you should be able to have a female friend, but it's just off limits for your significant other?
Nah, I one of the type of people. If I sit back and say I don't want you doing it, then I'm not gonna do it either. Cause that's not fair on her. That's not fair. Cause it's like if I don't want you having a, if I have a problem with you having a guy friend or whatever, I'm gonna keep it cool. Like, I'm not gonna be all up in the female's face or on my side. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like if it's business, also because my girl knows the stuff I do as far as business wise. If it's business, that's a whole different situation. But I also let her know. I also let her see, like, look, this is what it is. I keep it. The problem is a lot of people don't know how to keep it 100, keep it all the way honest, because they're afraid of the arguing. They're afraid. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to listen to anybody because it's like they just came from a bad relationship. They don't want to. They don't want to be told what to do on this relationship. So the good guy in a new relationship, he's gonna go through the most because he chose the woman, or the woman chose the man, and that's been through stuff. So we automatically gonna go through the most. So, but how I handle that is I keep it up front, honest with my partner all the way around the board. Cause I don't want to keep. I don't. One thing I cannot stand is a liar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
here's a comment. Um, I will answer it. Yes, you have. I think they're saying yes, you can have female friends and have guy friends, but it's trust in a relationship.
but see, this
So
is my
they're
thing.
basically
Like,
about trust, pretty
I
much.
get you. I get you. This is my thing though. Like, I can trust my partner. Like, like I can trust my partner, but it's just what is the dude saying to her when I'm not around? That's the problem that we have. It's like that's the problem that guys have. It's like, what is the dude trying to do when we not around? You know what I mean?
Right. But he's back on your significant other because he could come at her. But is she accepting? Is she telling him, look, Is she putting him in his place? You know what I'm saying? And then if it persists, is she cutting him off? Is she letting you know that? The guy, of course, they're gonna try if she's, especially if she's a good looking woman and they know she's a good woman. Of course, they're gonna try. But if she's not giving any play, I don't feel like if you should be worried about it. Um,
Right.
but you love that person that much and that person loved you that much, it won't. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying.
Right. Now you're right.
That
You're
it
right. You're right. She's right. Oh, she coming for my head. Oh, she coming for my head. I like this. Hey, for the record, I don't run from no smoke. If anybody wants to debate or talk to me, y'all can hit me up on Twitter. Y'all can hit me up on my Facebook. We can talk. I don't run from nobody. I
won't.
don't run
All
from
right.
nobody.
Um, what are some of the challenges you find in podcasting? Like, what are some of the challenges and what are some of the pros?
All right. Some of the challenges for me right now, I think, is just the markability, trying to get myself out there, and like trying to get myself out there, and I'm trying to like people wanna talk to me, people wanna hit me up to talk about my podcast, want me to do certain things, but I don't want to lose the authentic side of my podcast by trying to listen to people, or what I'm saying, because I just want to keep it true to myself or whatever. uh and then it's just like like I put some of this stuff on YouTube. um some of the comments be crazy, and like, so it's like sometimes I gotta realize, all right, I'm trying to be a professional. I can't respond negative like I would back in the day. You feel me? But that could really be a negative. The pros about the podcast is I get to get my message out there, and whether you agree or disagree with my message, we can still have dialogue. You can still hit me up. We can still talk about it, because I like people. I like to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? I'm a open person. I'm a respectful person. I love to talk to people. I love dialogue. That's why when you hit me up for this interview, I was hype about this joint all week, bro. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. I love to talk to people, but that's the pros of it. I just want to do it because I realized I'm not the only one who feels like the way I feel. It's other people who feel like me, but they just don't. They just can't say it.
They
You know what
don't
I'm saying? They
have
just
the space.
like, yeah, they don't have the platform. They don't have the voice. So I don't have a problem with being the voice. Like, all right, so I was in your group, right? And you were talking about the Krishan Rock and the Blueface situation, and Chris Brown was like, I made a mistake when I was 17, and y'all still letting me have it. Krishan Rock and Blueface, yeah, they y'all accept it. And so I made a video, and I sent it to you, and I put it on my YouTube, and I get a I get a message, I get the comment, yo, I really like what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how long ago this was, but you were spot on with some of the with your views on it. And then you told me I said something to you, and you was like, yeah, I don't agree with that. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I like good and bad comments. I like the good with the bad. I love interaction. You know what I mean? So that's the pros of the whole podcasting thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel where Chris Brown is coming from, because right now today, like he was supposed to do, I don't know, some kind of show or something. I don't know if it's for the Super Bowl, the Grammy, something, but they canceled it because of that, and that's been so many, many, many years ago. But yeah, with Blueface and Krishan, yes, it's glorified. They're being labeled the new Whitney and Bobby, as if that was cute. None of that
But
stuff is cute. Like, I mean, and then for his mom to blame Chris Brown for what Blueface is doing, it's like, lady, no, you're the problem. That's why he's doing it.
right. But listen, this my take on it, right? He allows, like Blueface allows that type of stuff. Like, they have a show where the girls are ratchet, like that's a bad girls club type of situation. The thing with Chris Brown is he hit he hit a singer, or he hit an artist that was like, everybody loved her. So she was backed by a lot of people. She was backed by Jay Z. She was backed by Rockefeller. So even though it might be a situation on both sides, him being a black man, him being an artist, because he was powerful at the time. I'm talking about really powerful. Because I'm from VA too. So he lives down the way from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like another county, but he was very powerful. You know what I'm saying? So he probably he probably shouldn't have did that, knowing his status. You know what I mean? So, and what a man. they're gonna hold that against you for the longest time. It's like a stain on your jacket.
Right. And I get what you're saying, and I agree with you, but domestic abuse is domestic abuse. So whether you're somebody in the spotlight and you're higher than somebody else, or you're down here Z list, they're promoting domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? So either
They're doing
way,
it now.
it's it's like you're promoting domestic violence, but because it's back and forth between the both of them, she beat him, he beat her, but they love each other. It's no, it's still not right at all.
But look, they're promoting it now. When Chris Brown did what he did, that wasn't really promoted, was it?
No, that's not what he promoted. That's just what he did, and he shouldn't have done it. But to promote it, I mean, no woman should be putting their hands on a man, and no man should be putting their hands on a woman. So to make it to glorify it because they're popular, or everyone says because they love each other, it's crazy in love. The abuse is just not okay. Period.
Right. But here's the thing. I think nowadays, like toxic situations, there's a lot of people out here in this world that's toxic. That's just that just breathe off of toxic. You know what I mean? Like so they like to see that. Like it is weird. It's crazy. What did the comment
So
say?
this is a comment because I this is a comment to when we were talking about friends in a relationship. Because I've been with mine for so long, and I was true blue, and he was too, and we both had male and female friends. We knew our boundaries, but we had nothing to worry about.
Right. If you you're absolutely right. If you set boundaries, then you should everything's gonna be okay. If you're completely honest with your partner, no matter what, no matter if she gets mad, no matter if he gets mad, then it's all good. But some people, and this is what I know this for a fact, some people will have friends and keep keep things from their partner, which is it's not right, but because they don't want to argue, or they know this person's temperament, or they, you know what I'm saying, or they want to have their cake and eat it too, because that happens. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They're gonna keep it from their partner. Now that's not right, and like you said, people should set boundaries, and setting boundaries is a good thing, but a lot of people are not going to do that. Some people are not going to do that. You know, they're going to do like, well, if he don't know what he doesn't know doesn't hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Until that person gets caught. You know what I mean? And that's just how it goes sometimes, unfortunately.
But I think a person like that though, they're just gonna be who they are, regardless whether they have a male, or if it's a female that has a male friend, or if it's a male that has a female friend. If they a hoe, they a hoe. So I mean, and there's always red flags. You know your partner, you know what they'll do. So it's all about
Right.
what you allow.
That's a fact. That's a whole fact. You know what I'm saying? So so going back to this Chris Brown thing, like I don't know what caused him to like rain that, like say that. Like as soon as he said it, I was like, bro, he about to get some backlash. Like,
Well, he might have got some backlash, but then there, because I've talked to some other people about it, and they feel like they understand where he's coming from. I'm one of those people that understand where he's coming from.
oh no, I totally understand where he's coming from, but like I think Blueface said this right, and Krishan Rock said this, and this is so Blueface the response. He was like, "Well, you hit the wrong female," like I'm like, dang, that's where we at with it, like to the point that you just hit the wrong female, bro. Like I'm like, damn, this whole world is toxic, bro.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, he did what he did to Rihanna. We talking about a whole female splitting her dude's head and taking a vacuum cleaner and sucking the glass out of his head. Like, what's okay
Oh
about
yeah,
that?
you talking about when Krishan Rock like hit dude with the bottle.
She corrected that. It wasn't a bottle, it was a glass.
It's such a, I like look. I couldn't be with a girl like Krishan Rock. She look like she like I ain't gonna front. She's beautiful, but it's just her personality is ugly. For me, like I don't have time for like a man wants to be in a relationship where he's in peace. Like I don't understand. Like I know Blueface is not in peace in his relationship, bro. Like, cause he's doing a
Now
lot.
see, I don't know how much you watch them, but I tuned I watched them because I was doing reality TV reviews. And in the beginning
Right.
I thought, okay, Blueface ain't right. Then it started going to, oh my gosh, she's so manly. She over there whooping on him. But it goes both ways because I see the thing. He knows what to do and say to push her buttons, to take her there.
Yeah.
He also feeds her liquor so she can act up. So it's like you can't just really say it's her and it's him. It's both of them.
Right, they both toxic. They probably both need to be away from each other. But like, it's like, all right, if you cool with your girl beating you up, it's whatever. But it's just like, like I that's just a toxic situation. I just want to stay away from. To be honest, that's
It's
weird.
toxic, and it's dangerous. So the comment says like when I grew up, my mom said if you big enough to hit, you big enough to get hit back, male or female.
Okay, okay. Now look. All right, now I'm about to get a whole bunch of pushback on this one because I actually believe that if you big enough to like,
I
first
do
of all,
too.
I'm in a whole bunch of. What'd you say?
I do
Say it
too.
again. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
do too.
Now, first of all, I'm in a whole wheelchair, right? So I ain't even, I'm not out here trying to fight nobody. But if you big enough to put your hands on me, you big enough to get what come with that. But so many people are gonna sit back and say, "Hey, she's a female. Automatically, you're stronger than her. You shouldn't be. No matter what the female does, you should never put your hands on her." There's a lot of people who feel that way too.
I'm on the
So it's a
fence with
catch twenty
that.
two.
I'm on the fence with that because yeah, that's true. Men are stronger than women and all of that. And if it's something like where a woman is pushed a man or something like that, okay, walk away, get away from her. But I have seen cases where men have actually took the step to do that. They was trying to walk away, and then the female won't let them go. They want to keep going up behind, putting their hands on them. They slap them, they push them. Well, then a person can only hold their reflexes so long before they turn around and slap you off your feet. But then now he's wrong because he's a male, but he tried to walk away and you didn't allow him to do that.
Right, right. I feel like I've seen situations where the female would provoke the dude to hit her, and then the dude not clean off her. You know what I'm saying? You hear the punch. The dude not gonna clean off her ish, and then she looked down like, I can't believe you hit me. Oh my god. You know what I'm saying? Like you provoked that, bruh. Like what you?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not
So
right. All right. So let me ask you this question. I know we going long. My bad, but I want to know disrespect in the relationship. Like, what do you deem as disrespectful? And if you ever, if you're in a relationship where you get disrespected, or how long will you put up with it before you let the relationship go?
so what I'll start with what I consider disrespect in a relationship first. Um I consider disrespecting the relationship, calling me out of my name,
Right.
not respecting, me as a person and my opinions or thoughts, stepping outside of the relationship. To me, that's the biggest disrespect to me. Um,
Right.
right now, I can say I have a no tolerance level. Before it was, oh, I'm gonna keep giving them chance. But now it's just like zero tolerance. First red flag, I'm out. So it is what it is.
Right. And you got that because you was in a situation where you tried and you gave all you could and you got disrespected, right? So now the new person that you may be talking to, as soon as he do one thing wrong, you out that bitch, right?
I don't want to say Soon as he does one thing wrong, it's just I know a pattern. So if I
Right.
see that pattern, we not rocking.
Right. Right. You're completely right. Completely right. I just wanted to take your. I just wanted to take. I just wanted to hear your take on it because like I don't like respect is everything to me. If you don't have respect for yourself and respect for the people that surround you, you're not moving correctly. So I would never do something that if somebody did that to me, I'm gonna be pissed off about it. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, we can you treat me like a human, like I treat you. If I have an issue with you, then I feel like I should be able to come to you and talk and say, hey, look, this is what's on my mind, this is what's bothering me. But then if you pop off like because you don't want to hear what I'm saying to you and you want to take it to another level of calling me bitches and this and that, then you're not for me because you don't even respect me as a human being. We gonna put the relationship aside from just respect me as a person, period. Like I would respect you. If you gotta do all this extra stuff, no, I don't got time for it.
Like no matter how mad I may get with the person that I'm with, I never call her name because like that's what she's used to. That's the pattern that she's used to because she was in a bad relationship. She was in a bad situation, so she's used to that. So the thing that you do when you with somebody new and you know that they've been through some things, you try to stay away from that pattern. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So she says a disrespectful relationship, always one another down, making fun of each other, such as making fun of what one person eat, embarrassing one another in public, calling each other mean names.
Hey, I'm sorry you went through that. Like that's abuse. That's mental abuse. And let me tell you,
Because
like
I gotta love you and leave you with no regret.
cause I know how to love and leave. Okay, okay, yeah. I mean that's true. That's real. You feel me? Um, but back to the comment where she was like, people making fun of you, like the and this that third, but you know, what I'm saying calling you names. That's a form of abuse. That's called mental abuse. Like I was in a relationship for like 2 years where the girl was like mentally abusive and one or two times physically abusive. And because I went through that, when it comes to abuse and disrespect, I have no tolerance for it. So when you go through things like mental abuse or physical abuse of any kind of abuse, your tolerance level is so low. As soon as you see that red flag, you're like, ah, no, I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because I think that a lot of men think that as long as they're not putting their hands on you, that they're not capable of abusing you because they really don't feel like there's such thing as, like you said, mental abuse, emotional abuse, but there's also verbal abuse.
Right,
You know,
right,
if you're
right, right,
saying
right,
something that person, hurts their feelings, then it's abuse because you're not caring about their feelings. So
right,
it's not just physical abuse, and I think a lot of men don't think that just because they don't put their hands on you, that it's not that it's not abuse.
right. And I'll go a step further, bro. It's a lot of men don't like to say when their girl mentally or physically or verbally abuses them because as a man we're supposed to be this tough, macho, know how
Woo,
to
woo.
know how to
I've been writing a topic about that
a
because
lot of
men
men
are
don't
as to
right,
be tough. If you show emotions or feelings, then you're considered. If you're a man, you're considered to be weak, and I think that needs to change because
but
men go through things. So why are they not allowed to cry? Why are they not? You know what I mean? Like
I'm
things
gonna
weigh
tell you
on
why.
men.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because when the way that women look at things is the way that women look at things is the man ain't supposed to show no weak emotion. And I hate to say it like that, but a lot of women feel like that. Like, what are you crying for? Like, why you being so emotional? You feel me? Because nowadays a lot of women are tougher than the dudes, and I'm not. It's like you don't have any kind of emotion because a lot of women now they know how to turn off their emotions. So men, we're not allowed to be emotional because we were taught never to cry. We were taught to kind of put our feelings on a back burner, and that's the issue.
Yeah, but that needs to change though. And that's why a lot of men deal with depression and because they have all this stuff bottled up because they're not allowed to talk about it because they're going to be considered a punk or weak or whatever. Let them cry it out, get over it, and then move on. Like you, sometimes you have to cry. You know what I'm saying to get over stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who made that rule or who came up with that rule, but it needs to change. Men have feelings
That's
just like they're human, like women.
that's society, bro. That's society, and and it's crazy because like my my lady I'm with now, and I'm gonna continue to be with. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like like compared to her, I'm like real emotional. You feel me? Because she learned how to not be so emotional. So when you learn how to not be emotional, and then you're talking to somebody that's emotional, you think, oh, all you doing is whining and complaining and tripping, but you just being yourself. You just being honest. But because you don't know how to reciprocate, or you don't know how to handle what he's saying, or maybe he does it too much, or maybe he shows that he loves too much, or maybe he has too much affection that you're not used to. Now we being too emotional, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
And that's
when
crazy.
you say women, um, you said women can be kind of like masculine, correct?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So why do you think some women are masculine? What is your personal opinion on that?
Why do I think some women are masculine? Because a lot of women had to play the role of the mama and the daddy. A lot of women had to play the role of, my dad not here, my mom not here, so I gotta take care of the family. A lot of women been hurt from relationships, marriages, and this that and third. So they just not trying to get out their stubborn ways. That's what all this comes from. Is I'm stubborn. I don't want to change my way. You're stubborn. You don't want to change your way. So now we got to find some way to coexist. Because we don't know how to communicate properly. We butt heads. That's where a lot of this comes from. Because we don't know how to communicate properly. Communication is the key to everything. The key to business. The key to relationships. The key to friendships. Communicate. I done seen 20, 10, 15, 30 year friendships get destroyed because they don't know how to communicate. I done seen people who should who really love each other, bro. Who really love each other because they don't know how to communicate, or this person don't want to hear this person, or this person don't want to hear that person. That the relationship is destroyed. And communication is the key to everything. Sometimes you just gotta Sometimes you just gotta talk to your partner. Sometimes you just gotta talk to your friend. Sometimes you just gotta talk to your business partner and say, "Look, I don't like the way this is going, or is there any way that I can fix this?" Because nowadays people don't want to fix anything; they just want to leave it right where it's at. But sometimes you gotta put your pride to the side and say, "Look, I care about you. I love you, or you're my friend. Like, what can we do to fix this?" Now, if it can't be fixed, and you feel like the best thing for you to do is go your separate ways, then do what you gotta do. I appreciate that. But if you really care about that person, and you really care about the relationship, you gotta put your pride to the side and say, "Let's work on this. Let's do this." Like, a lot of people don't know how to do that.
That's true. But do you think that comes from growing up and maybe there wasn't much communication, in the home? So you know what I'm saying? Some people just don't know how to communicate.
Yeah, that
So
comes
when
from
somebody's trying to communicate with them, the first thing for them to do is kind of like block it out or snap off, or you know what I'm saying?
right. You're right. Because I know people who sit back and say, my mom didn't, my dad wasn't like that. So we're not emotional people. My mom wasn't like that. We're not emotional people. I don't know how to. And some people who are not emotional, so they put it in the background, or the only way they it's, the only way they show emotion is through anger, or the only way they show emotion is when they're tearing you down. And it's some people who are not healed yet that just jump into a relationship and they're not healed yet, so they just start tearing you down because that's what they're used to in their past relationship. Past and communication is the biggest problems. Past communication and trust is the biggest problems in relationships, bro. Because you're not gonna be able to trust because you're so worried about the past, and because you're so worried about the past, you don't know how to communicate how you feel because you're afraid that you might get a backlash. You're afraid that you might get snapped on. You're afraid that you're gonna get judged, and that's what the problem is.
You're right. All right. So before we get out of here, do you have any last things you would like to say? Also, let people know where they can find you, your days and times that you're on.
Right. So I do the podcast at random times. If I feel it, I just go on and I just record it and I just put it out. But you can follow me on Twitter at RudeLife, RudeLife_NASA NASA, or you can get at me on Facebook, RudeLife Nasa. Um, Definitely, I got a motivational project. I got two motivational projects that I got out right now. It's called Nothing Personal, Just My Growth. And I got one that I made for Valentine's Day called My Love. I mean My Peace and Love. So definitely check it out on YouTube. My YouTube is Rude Life NASA. And look, if anybody wants to talk to me, reach out to me. You can. I'm down to talk. I'm down to communicate. If you want to debate, I'm down. So just holler at me, and I want to appreciate you because I seen your grind. I seen your work. You know what I mean? I tuned in. I appreciate you for letting me get on this interview, and it was gold. I really appreciate it, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to do the interview, and looking forward to more future things coming up. Also, you
Right.
guys, just a reminder to write into the blog, Ask Miss Londa. You can write in anonymous if you don't want anybody to know who you are when you post your questions. When Queen's Talk starts up, I will be responding. We will be responding live to your questions. So please stay tuned. You guys have a good night. Thank you for joining me a second time. I'm going to go on and go and give me some vittles. You guys take care. Thank you, Rude.
No problem. No problem. Peace.